When coaching a team, it's more than about how good you are at the game. It's more about mentality, charisma, and composure. But that's not all this video is about. Somebody asked me in my comments if I can make a video explaining how I would coach a team, but I figured I could do this and help the average player out as well, because looking at your gameplay from a coaching standpoint can make you a better player, and here's why. Coaches in Siege biggest thing in my opinion is VOD reviews, and doing that as a player can help you realize what you're doing wrong no matter what rank you're in. Did you push too hard? Was there too much utility like barbed wire and shields in the way? Were they holding the area too hard to where switching to push was the play instead of trying to bulldoze through it? Stuff like that. From my understanding, these are things that are looked at when going over VODs. So we're going to look at it from an individual perspective to help you improve as a player, but the same things can be applied to a team, so we're going to start with attack. On attack, the most useful thing is your drone. Keeping it in its spawn or placing it in a high traffic spot where you're going to push are things that'll give you more intel and increase more potential for frags, or how likely you are to win, because you know who's holding where and who's doing what from the information that you get from your drone. Just driving your drone in and getting bomb spot points does absolutely nothing from your squad, so try not to do it. Look over your gameplay and see how you're utilizing your drones. Maybe that could be why you're dying, because you're just rushing in blindly. The more info you have, the more likely you are to succeed. So now that we got drone work out the way, it's time to work on the push. So when you're looking over a VOD, you have to figure out what push is best for you, or what's best for the map. So from a team perspective, let's use Clubhouse for example. Almost all the time Thatcher's banned on Clubhouse or Maverick. Is it one of the either or? Now to get around this, if Thatcher's banned, usually somebody will take like a Maverick, make a hole in the CC wall, pop a nade in there, and after clearing the ADSs with like stun grenades and stuff like that, it gets the utility off the wall. If Maverick is banned, maybe the play would be taking an IQ or a buck and going down below. And this is where that drone work will come into play from what I was talking about previously. So make sure you know it's clear. Maybe have an air jab, bring a nomad or have a claymore watching your flank. Since, they got the bright idea from taking bucks grenades and replacing it with a claymore. But that's a whole nother video. But bring the air jab with a claymore and make sure you're safe to do your job. Getting the wall open is priority, and figuring out how to do so, and bringing the right team comp and the right drone work are ways to an efficient win, so always remember that. But let's say you're in a ranked solo, Thatcher's banned, nobody wants to bring Thermite, we all been in that situation. Just bring the Maverick, because he can do both, and you could work on playing him while you're trying to do this stuff as well. He can get the wall soft if you know how to Maverick trick it, and the Ashes of Fia, since there always seem to be someone on the squad, can all open the wall once it's soft. I can make a whole video on Maverick alone if that's something y'all want to see, so just let me know if y'all want to see that in the comments down below. But now that the wall is open, it's time to figure out what the best push is. So now you look over how you pushed recently, and you ask yourself questions like, how'd you die? Was there a bunch of barb on red stairs, using Clubhouse as an example again? Or maybe there was a shield somewhere near the stairs, at the top of the stairs, something like that. It'd be safer to work on getting the guy out of rafters or pushing construction at that point instead of just running up red stairs and dying. You know what I'm saying? If the wall's open and if you have somebody working on getting the guy at rafters or you're pushing construction, that puts more pressure on the defensive team. Really all Siege is when you're attacking is just putting the defenders on edge, like make them uncomfortable. You don't let them just sit in there and hold sight, because that's how you get picked from people holding angles. So you just got to make sure that they're always on their toes. Visualize how you died before and think of other ways for that to not happen again. Like remembering the spot you died or switching the push entirely so the defense has to be put elsewhere. So now when I say visualize your pushes, of course, every push for every map is going to be different. So if y'all want to see me make attacker strats for a specific map, also let me know that in the comments below as well. But the only thing you have left after you push are what's called post-plant situations. Once the diffuser is down, you do not, and I cannot stress this enough, you do not have to push. I've lost so many rounds because people decided to push instead of just holding the diffuser and waiting for the defense to just push up on the diffuser. That could be also why you're losing a lot. So again, review how you play in those post-plant situations, review how you died, review how you push, and just try your best to get out of those bad habits. So now on to the defense. Most people are better defenders than they are attackers. But for those who struggle on defense, the first thing I'm going to go over is realizing your role. Are you passive? Are you aggressive? Do you like to hold sight? Do you like to roam? If you're passive, I'm going to tell you right now, you can't be passive all the time. There's gonna be times you'll be passive and somebody will push you, or even worse, push past you into sight or start fragging your teammates, and you sitting there like, they about to fire me up for this. Like, don't let that be you. Being a passive roamer is a tricky subject because there's gonna be fights you're gonna have to take, but your main objective is just to annoy the attackers and just waste as much time as you can and get picks if you can. It's not a necessary thing for you to get picks, but you have to waste time or stop the push, like from areas that they like to push, or default pushes, I guess you could say. So let's use border as an example, right? Your team's holding armory and you want to roam as like a vigil or a Jaeger or something like that. Your main job will be to hold maybe CC, or hold in like the vents area if they want to go down there, hit the Etcher's band with a buck and try to buck the floor out to stop the bandit trick, you know what I'm saying, for the armory wall. So that those two things will be your job. If you have control of CC, you can stop. For one, they're not going to push right on the balcony with the thermite and blow the wall. And for two, they know they're going to have to get you out of there before they even start to do anything. Of course, they can work on, you know, sending somebody downstairs for the bandit. But ultimately, to put that thermite charge on the wall, they're going to have to get you out of CC. So, you know what I'm saying? That would be your job. Now, when I say something about being passive or wasting time, that doesn't mean that you can sit in the corner until there's 30 seconds left while the site is just going up in flames. That's not what I'm talking about. So let's use border as an example again, and your team is defending vents, right? Again, for another example, your job is to defend the upstairs while being a nuisance for the other team, like maybe pushing CC or office. You don't make them feel safe just pushing in. If there was nobody there and the upstairs was free, they would just push in and they would just start making holes in the floor, and there'd be nobody to stop them unless you come for a late flank. But if they run something, if they're a good team and they run something like a nomad or have claymores or somebody on flank watch, I don't necessarily think that you're going to get past that. So being up there in the spot already while being a nuisance to them, making them feel unsafe while you're just lurking around, you know, they still going to be like, yo, Vigil's up here somewhere, Jaeger's up here somewhere, whoever you are roaming. They're not going to feel safe while they're doing their job. And that's you. That's all you, bro. I know I rambled a little bit, but that's basically what the job of the roamer is. If you like being passive, or explaining not being passive, basically is what I'm getting to. But if you're uncomfortable with that and you like to be passive, maybe holding sight and being on cans is best for you until you break out of that shell. You know, you start taking more gunfights. Maybe you want to be on something like a Maestro or an Echo if he's not banned. Maybe a Valkyrie, but a lot of Valkyries are aggressive, so I don't know. But just you relaying intel to your team will probably be best for you until you start, like, you know, taking those fights. Just realize what type of player you are, and I guarantee you, instead of just guessing, you'll do a whole lot better. So just look over your stuff, look over how you play. I mean, most of it we playing on PC. Like, this is for console people too, you know, because you can save clips and stuff like that. So like everybody has the ability to, like, you know, save a game, or even if you want to just save a round. Just save something and look over your gameplay and see how you playing, and you can see aspects that you need to fix. On the flip side, there's a such thing as being too aggressive, though, like things that you shouldn't peek. Maybe somebody's shooting at you and you go to peek the door at the same angle that somebody was just shooting at you at, and they pick you because they're just shooting the side of the wall until you peek your head out, you know, stuff like that. So again, review how you playing. Maybe you're over peeking it, and there you go. You got something for you to work on. So the things I just went over are aspects of coaching yourself, but they can work in a coaching the team environment too. Like, they're one and the same at the core. It's about reviewing how you play, how you push, how you defend, how you hold top floors if the site's below you, or just how you hold site in general. The biggest things are keeping a level head, not giving up, realizing what you are or who you are as a player, and striving and grinding to get better. And hopefully what I went over for you guys to look at when you review your stuff, hopefully it helps you out. So let me know what y'all think of the video down below. If this helps you out, leave a like and share it with a friend. Maybe it can help them out too. Like I said, if there's anything you want me to make a video on, leave it in the comment section down below. And until the next video, I'll see y'all then. Peace.